Sharon.
All right, we'll read the rest of the tweets. Shout out to Sharon. Now, this week we were treated to Nikaman drama, Nikamani video, when Sheldrick Wildlife Trust pilots rescued a fuel tanker driver on the verge of being swept away by water on the Galana Kulalu Causeway. The floods swept away the tanker and the driver remained stuck for more than 6 hours, calling for help from residents. Talk about real-life heroes, man. This is just... Of course, Quach na Mato hawangefanya hiki tu. Kuna vitu tu hawezi fanya. Kuna vitu they'll be like, what is this, Cindy? Are you seeing the raging waters? Quach doesn't even know how to swim. Let's just begin there.
In theory, whatever we are watching,
That's true.
In theory, whatever we are watching looks very simple.
Yeah.
It's as simple as pilot.
Looks like a movie.
Anashika tu steering, anateremsha kidogo, huyo mtu anashikwa mkono anapanda, anaenda. But in actuality, even for this to happen in movies, the pilots have to do like 600 takes. They have to be trained and retrained and retrained. This they did in one take, if I might call it so. They did it in one take and saved a man's life. By the way, so much, I don't know, so the magnitude of kudos that I can give to them. This was actually very daring, because to imagine that the level of the strength of the winds at the time, the fact that the water might have pushed the truck while jamaa amekanyaga hapo hivyo, he decide into time inataka kusonga, man.
I think in the career of everyone, sometimes you dream about these kind of things, that one day you will have to exercise your heroics in a situation like this, and this actually turned out really well. The only other flip side that sometimes I find with these situations is, sisi kama wa Kenya, you see there is a raging flood. You see that ile barabara haipitiki. Like there's a time I was watching a video online and everyone else amesimama next to the road because hawezi pita. And then there's this nduthi guy who decides,
I'm the one.
Hapa tu.
But then there's nduthi guys.
Hapa tu, sini hapa tu. Then they start going across and then the bike is swept away, the guy is swept away.
And
then
he passed on, by the way.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. He passed on. His body was found kilometers and kilometers away.
So now you're put in a situation where, so also, as much as I don't know the context of this story, I don't know how the driver got.
In his case, alipatikana tu. Alijipata kimeumana.
It was like a rushing river.
Yes.
You know when you cross, then the waters are low.
The banks burst.
Yes.
And the river flooded.
Yeah.
Ikaingia kwa barabara. Si ati alikuwa kwa river.
And it's a
when it is not your day, guy.
That's true. And can you imagine how scared he was, just in there by himself, knowing this is it? You know, like, was he making calls? Like, was he talking to his wife?
His bus was like, his lorry was like an island, like hakuna mtu. In the horizon you can't see anyone.
You can't see anyone.
Iko na mafuta bado. Na hiyo ni helicopter inateremka hapo hivyo. Ikaamua tu ka spark tu ka decide hiyo ndio ile time. Ile time I want to shine, it's my time to shine.
Mato acha. You know, Kenyans, we have this habit of thinking about the worst. Because it's the truth. You know, mina kumaliza hii show ni miracle.
Not Kenyans, it's us creatives. Our minds just go crazy. We always think of worst case scenario. But I just want to say it's been a really rough week for truck drivers. So there was this guy who was rescued in the river. Then there was the Mandamano truck driver who was going about his business, and then he was accosted. Sometimes, you know, I have a lot of mad respect for truck driving. It's a career that's really tough. You're on the road a lot. They get back problems because they're constantly sitting. You know, they're away from their families from a really long period of time. And you can find sometimes that even impairs your thoughts. You just want to get home because you're so tired. So you can find this guy just wanted to, he was like, tutapita nayo as long as his journey is done. And then this happened. So massive respect for truck drivers, and, you know.
And also, if you've ever been stuck on the road, Cindy, especially at night, some of the most helpful people are truck drivers.
Absolutely.
That is true.
Even when you're driving, they will indicate to you when there is an oncoming vehicle or not. They will always try to keep the road safe.
That's true.
And some of the craziest still are truck drivers.
We all know a couple of stories.
In equal measure.
We all know a couple of stories. Those ones we can't share here. But kudos to those guys risking their lives, because anything could have gone wrong. You're right. Mato, they take 1,000 takes before they do that actual shot. Alafu utapata bedhe mdosi anakuambia mbona bado truck haijafika. Ebu ende urudi ulete truck yangu we.
But I'm imagining the guy must have sent that clip ya helicopter kwa mdosi. He's like, ingia WhatsApp.
boss ingia WhatsApp.
We have to take a break.
Because the maandamano guy alikuwa na record boss ona kwa sababu labda mdosi angeamini.
Hawakuamini. We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Don't go too far.